So, you've decided to take the plunge and become an avid anime viewer. Congratulations, you've made one of the best decisions in your life. Anime has a lot to offer, be it a great story, astonishing characters, crazy good battles, mind games, emotional connections, and a whole lot more. In this video, we've decided to gather up the top 25 most popular animes that fans all over the world agree deserve all the hype they get. You're going to see and understand why these choices make perfect sense. And of course, hit the like button before we begin. Subscribe to our channel to get your daily anime needs, and share the video when you're done. Let's see what we got. Number 25. The Promised Neverland. As its namesake implies, The Promised Neverland is about the flight of a group of children from their life of comfort and illusion at an orphanage to an outside world where savagery and corruption rule. The story centers on how the children are going to escape the orphanage they grew up in, and what kind of revelations and conflicts they experience along the way. If you're a fan of psychological storytelling, this one will never disappoint. Number 24. Black Clover. There's no other anime that manages to make devils and dark magicians as menacing as Black Clover does. This anime introduces us to the world of the Black Bulls, special fighters dedicated to the eradication of demonkind from the world. The story follows Asta, a Black Bull member and a royal knight. Asta wants to become a great warrior, protecting the Clover Kingdom from all threats with the aid of other great warriors like Yami. The show makes excellent use of magical settings and other worlds to contrast how normal humans live, and how evil sorcerers like Dante strive to bring about mankind's destruction through using grimoires of evil spells. Number 23. The Rising of the Shield Hero. This one is interesting, because stories where an average person goes from zero to hero are all about building great friendships and a sense of community. For Naofumi Iwatani, the path to becoming the strongest hero in a mystical world means carrying a shield and learning how to use it on his own. He gets betrayed at the start of his adventure, and the story focuses on how Naofumi must find his sense of self and rise up to the occasion. Number 22. Death Parade. Presenting a new kind of story where people who die find themselves competing for their place in the afterlife. Death Parade is an exciting adventure into the personal lives of its many protagonists. Essentially, people who die find themselves in selected bars in the afterlife. These places make it possible for people to play death matches that decides whether their souls will be incarnated or stuck in an endless void. The events of the anime never get dull for a second. It's a very well written story with few bumps along the way. Number 21. Overlord. The skeleton being with supreme powers who strives to become the strongest in the universe. Overlord follows the exploits of Ains, a cool-looking skeleton figure with powers to annihilate whole worlds. The whole show is about the fun that conquest brings. Characters wrestle with questions about the meaning of power, control over life and death, and immortality. If you like seeing big kingdoms being laid to waste in droves, this show is for you. Number 20. Fairy Tail.
さらにジュビアやウェンディも加わり戦いは有利に進んでいた。だが
This one is for those who like magic, spells, and pretty female magicians. Fairy Tail is an anime that focuses on using magic to accomplish different missions. The story follows Lucy Heartfilia in her quest to find the foster parent of Natsu Dragneel. Natsu's parents aren't normal humans, they're dragons. Along the way, Natsu has to abide by the rules and guidelines set by the Fairy Tail Guild. The show does a fine job of giving its characters enough attention to make each one stand out. Number 19. My Hero Academia. Group together some of the strongest young warriors with the potential to become heroes, and you get yourself an entire academia built for them. My Hero Academia thrives on the multi-layered fighters who carry the story. If you're a fan of constant power-ups, quick-paced battles, and a Dragon Ball-like structure to the story, give this one a shot. Number 18. Sword Art Online. Video games and anime meet together in Sword Art Online, as the first anime of its kind, to focus on placing characters inside a virtual reality MMORPG. Sword Art Online gets our vote for the most creative setting on this list. It's an anime where the consequences of dying are horrible for everyone. There's very little hand-holding once Kazuto is forced to play through the hundreds of stages that the beta version of the game forces on him. It's a show with many plot twists that serves to provide greater context about the events and worlds that the virtual game displays. Number 17. Steins Gate. A true time travel story with tons of surprising endings for its main characters. Steins Gate follows the discovery of the first ever time machine invention that a humanity has accomplished. Rintaro Okabe, the mad genius behind the operation and the maintenance of the future gadget lab. The real action begins after the murder of Mayuri Shina and Okabe's desperate attempts to go back in time to try and prevent her death. It's a very emotional story full of ups and downs for every character involved in the tragedy. Number 16. No Game No Life. Another mix between video games and anime, No Game No Life introduces us to brash players looking to usurp the king of games and take all the glory for themselves. The story kicks off when the undefeated duo called Blank, consisting of Sora and Shiro, are transferred to the virtual world of this board. This place has everything in it decided through playing games. In other words, life, death, controlling certain places around the world. All these things are possible if you play and win. So, the gist here is Sora and Shiro attempting to stay undefeated while trying to dethrone the god of games in this board. Number 15. Dr. Stone. After humanity has been turned to stone for more than 3,000 years, Dr. Stone gives us a compelling reasons for why that happened and why we should care. Shingo Ishigami is one human who has been freed from his stony prison and wants to use his intellect to rebuild what humanity has lost. Dr. Stone makes science and experiments sound very exciting and easy to understand, thanks to how Shingo connects the dots behind everything happening. And best of all, the show contrasts two opposing sides vying for control of the world, those who believe in the powers of science and those who think might makes right always. Number 14. The 7 Deadly Sins. Everyone enjoys a good redemption story, and the 7 Deadly Sins delivers on that front. The anime is chock full of demons. The hero of the story is the representation of the sin of wrath, Meliodas. As the son of the Demon King, Meliodas wants to be free from his father's tyrannical rule of demonkind. Meliodas, along with the other sins, want to coexist in peace with humans, and the only way to do that is by defeating their sworn enemy. So, it's a really unique story, in that we see a demon turning against his kind because of how evil they are. It also has one of the most intense battle scenes in all of anime, plus some really cool places that the characters explore. Number 13. Mob Psycho 100. From the creators of One Punch Man comes this gem of an anime. Mob Psycho 100 is set in a world where talented psychic users are embroiled in constant battles against enemies who seek to take away their powers. The story mainly follows the ultra-powerful Shigo Kageyama, a powerful psychic user who struggles with keeping his powers in check. This jaw-dropping anime features some of the most intense showdowns that you can find anywhere. Number 12. Dragon Ball Z. So you've probably heard about Dragon Ball at some point in your life. You might even watched Goku's adventures when he still had a tail. But if you haven't yet watched his adventures after he grew up, you're in for a rude awakening. As the godfather of the most modern animes that we see today, Dragon Ball Z is the perfect intro to a world of memorable battles and exciting storylines. Goku's Super Saiyan transformations, his battles with villains like Frieza and Cell, and the companions that come along for the ride are things that will stay with you for life. Now, you have the perfect excuse to start watching this amazing series. Number 11. Jujutsu Kaisen. We have the future of shonen right here. Jujutsu Kaisen is an anime that has gained immense popularity with just one season released. The show focuses on exploring the conflict between evil spirits called curses and an association of skilled jujutsu users who specialize in exorcising said curses. The protagonist is Yuji Itadori, a high school student with aspirations to change the world and make it a better place. Alongside Yuji, there's a rich cast of characters like Gojo Satoru, who serves as a mentor for the younger generation of jujutsu students. It's a popular anime for the sick visuals included and the tight, easy to follow plotline. Number 10. One Punch Man. What happens when you write an anime show where every popular trope gets turned upside down? You get Saitama with all his glory. One Punch Man tells the story of an unassuming adult who has to worry about everyday life problems. He's struggling to find a job, he keeps questioning the value of his existence, and there's nothing he can do to break the monotony. That all changes when Saitama has to make one of the biggest decisions in his life, finding a small child in danger of being killed by a crab monster. Saitama takes on the role of hero unknowingly. He saves the child's life and starts his transformation into the iconic bold hero who can kill anything with just one punch. The show is not just about insane power levels, it's about tackling really traditional ideas from a new angle. Number 9. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. There's something that's always captivating about watching a group of soldiers doing their best in a world turned upside down. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood gives us such a story, with a rich cast of characters who can use a blend of both mechanical and magical abilities, and a memorable villain in the form of Father. This gem continues to garner attention whenever it is mentioned. Number 8. Bleach, a modern masterpiece that strikes the right balance between a long story of intertwined events and just the right amount of action to keep things going. Bleach tells the story of Ichigo Kurosaki, a teenager with hidden potential that can serve in the fight against dangerous beings called Hollows. Bleach's world is marked by the existence of a powerful group of human soldiers called Soul Reapers. These heroes seek to protect the Soul Society, a sacred place where the souls of the dead go to lie in peace. On the opposite side, the bad guys include people like the Hollows and the Arrancar, who want to control Soul Society and harness the powers of dead souls to control the world. It's a fantastic show where a lot happens, so do yourself a favor and get started today. Number 7. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Notably known for the truly bizarre world where strong fighters use powerful objects called stands to settle things, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures focuses on the Joestar family bloodline. The world they inhabit is full of supernatural forces and dangerous beings. The Joestars are skilled users of stand, and that is why they've managed to survive for so long. The story goes into depth about each individual family member and the enemies they face. There's a lot to be said about the anime style that's used. It's one where flashiness and grit combine to create a visually stunning narrative that holds our attention for hours on end. Number 6. Attack on Titan. The anime that has managed to shatter all expectations over and over again. Attack on Titan is built on a foundation of excellent story writing, wonderful world building, and insane battles. It's a tale of freedom, of morals, and of mankind's ability to turn against its own when the right motives and events are set in place. Eren, Levi, Mikasa, Armin, Bertold, Reiner, and many others carry the show, thanks to the supreme buildup of events that takes us from a simple tale of survival to one where the whole world is threatened with annihilation. You're missing out on a lot if you haven't watched this anime yet. Number 5. Naruto Shippuden. The follow-up to the instant classic Naruto, this 2007 release continues the story of a more mature Naruto. This time, he's battling much bigger foes and is involved in the 4th Shinobi War that decides the fate of the entire world. Naruto Shippuden is an anime masterpiece for a reason. The amount of memorable content packed into its hundreds of episodes leave fans in awe whenever a discussion about it arises. Number 4. Hunter x Hunter 2011. While we really like the 1999 version, Hunter x Hunter went above and beyond when its 2011 version was released, featuring improved animation style plus additional story arcs. This version of the show is legendary. The story follows Gon Freak's search for his absent father, Gin. Gon's father was a legendary hunter who managed to leave a permanent mark on the world Gon has grew up in. To follow in his father's footsteps means having to take on the hunter examination to win the hunter license. Of course, Gon has with him Killua, Leorio, and Kurapika, all fantastic characters with interesting storylines. Needless to say, the rest of the show maintains the same high quality as the first 21st episodes, so definitely worth a watch. Number 3. One Piece. With an episode count going over 1,000 episodes, One Piece has left a permanent mark on the anime world. This legendary show introduces us to Monkey D. Luffy, an aspiring kid with ambitions of becoming the Pirate King. Luffy is known for his trademark straw hat that he wears, the badass crew members that he recruits like Zoro, and the insanely addictive devil fruit types that give characters all sorts of unique powers. That's not even mentioning all the admirals, re-owned places, and adversaries that our straw hat crew have to overcome in order to find the One Piece. If you find yourself with a ton of free time, One Piece will fill that void perfectly. Number 2. Demon Slayer. Great swordplay coupled with an old-school Japan setting come together to give us a tale full of action and drama. Demon Slayer tells the story of Tanjiro Kamado, a descendant of an ancient family of demon slayers. Tanjiro's story takes a dark turn when his entire family is slaughtered and his sister is turned into a demon. The young boy now has to join the Demon Slayer Corps, fight against the demonic forces inhabiting the world, and find a cure to turn his sister back into a human. This amazing show has also given us Mugen Train, Japan's highest-grossing movie and a great chapter in the story itself. With 2013 15th closer than ever. We can't wait for its second season. Number 1. Death Note. With a total of 37 episodes, Death Note has notched up a place among the greatest animes of all time, and rightfully so. If you're a fan of intellectual mind games, this show is perfect. It tells the story of Yagami Light, a prodigy high school student who stumbles upon a magical book that can kill people by writing down their names. At first, the premise of the story is ridiculous, but once we see how far Light is willing to go to use the Death Note for what he deems to be the greater good, the story takes on a different turn entirely. Add to that the introduction of L, the world's greatest detective, and you're never going to be bored watching this masterpiece unfold. And there you have it, our detailed breakdown of the top 25 animes that have gained worldwide fame over the past 2 decades. Let's hear your thought in the comments about what the best anime shows are in your opinion. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to our channel for more informative content like this one. Adios.